Hey everybody, this is Doing Lines. This is the sports betting podcast where we bet on the sports and not really the sports bets of the sports. I'm one of your hosts, Kyle Ayers, joined as always by my co-host Austin Huff.
That is me.
If this is your first time tuning in, the two Doing Lines, what this is Austin and I every week have a new guest on here. We give them 1,000 fake dollars to bet on some pretty real kind of fake bets for the NFL season. Bets you're not going to find at a bookie. Bets you're not going to find on whatever app the NFL is promoting while suspending their players for looking at it. None of those sorts of bets. No who's got the points. No, is this the touch? This is how many times do they show this person on camera? How many commercials? Weird bets, weird stuff. But we tally them up and see who's the best, all for fake charity.
If you could spell the word prop without pro, that's what these bets would describe.
Just P.
Just P bet. These are
because you're
P
in
bets.
Trouble, everybody.
Folks. But this podcast is number one when it comes to those type of bets.
Yeah.
I feel like that to give you an example of like bets that we've done in the past is like Kyle once broke his leg and he put it out like how many pounds would he gain over the weekend from sitting on his ass because his foot was broken versus how many times Matt Stafford would get sacked. Thanksgiving weekend, I had a bet about which would be more, the number of teams that end in ER would win or questions my Aunt Debbie would ask me about my job at Thanksgiving dinner.
Stuff you can tally up, but stuff people can't normally bet on. You know what I mean? Which teams with alliterative names end up winning by more. Are the overexposure of the Kelsey brothers monetized for fake charity for us? All sorts of stuff. It's we're here, we're relentless, and we're looking back. NFL Week 14. I cannot believe we are so close to the end of the regular season. In the NFL, or for Titans fans, even just the end of the season as a whole.
What's a regular season? Wait, you mean it goes on after that? You mean it's like when people leave during the credits of a Marvel movie. Wait, you mean there was a scene after the credits?
You guys are like, what's a Thanos?
Yeah, well, what do you mean Samuel L. Jackson set up the next movie? I don't know what you're talking about. All I know is that the season ends after week 18. And for me, a Titans fan, and for many, I know Bears fans, because I live and work in Chicago. I know a lot of fans of teams, Jets fans. We're just waiting for the season. Like we're in this like weird holding pattern. We're in a holding cell.
It's like a countdown to the NFL draft and whether your team will score an A or a B. Because that's really the only grades anyone gets on the NFL draft is an A or a B. Mm-hmm. Except the one time everyone gave the Seahawks an F for drafting Russell Wilson early.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that year when his girlfriend almost bit him.
Lowercase
celebrating
G.
so hard.
Yeah, I mean, that was sick. Let's recap last week on here. We had some crazy bets in here. It was a really, really fun. You said Julie Stewart-Binks was our guest last week.
Yeah, she was a lot of fun.
And she ended up losing $1,600 for charity. Austin, you lost $1,150 for charity. And I
lost 1,000 what?
$1,150 for charity.
I hate
and
this.
I gained $150. So I pulled ahead by an initial a lot.
Well, and you were already leading the season total between you and me
we'll
by
recap
like
the season
4,000.
total here. I now have $8,140 and you have $2,912. So I'm winning here by about 5,200.
I hate you. Can I say that?
Anything can happen. Well, not really, because I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to do that thing Mizzou tried to do in the game against Kansas, which is run out the clock way too early and freak everybody out.
That was, as a Mizzou fan, Kyle and I both went to the University of Missouri, and that was a game. And I know nobody was watching it because it was literally smack dab in the middle of NFL Sunday.
Oh, you didn't watch the Mizzou-Kansas game that was on at noon Pacific on a Sunday?
Yeah, it was. No, it wasn't even noon
Saturday.
Pacific. It was noon Central.
Oh, that's
noon
right. That's right. That's right. It was
Sunday.
right. Yeah, Sunday, right when everything kicked
It was
off.
literally during the
It was
the
red
first
zone
window of
or
games.
Mizzou, whose best player has the hairline of me, a 36-year-old man. But Mizzou was up at one point by 24, and I didn't feel comfortable at all. That's what being a Mizzou fan is.
I didn't. And sure enough, Kansas chipped away and got it down to a 2-point game.
Yeah.
But then Mizzou pulled away again. But my
Absolutely.
goodness, I
This is the
was
turning in Mizzou athletics right now, and I don't want to turn this into us talking about this too much, but they've won these games that they lost our whole lives. You know what I
yes,
mean? They would, with the
that's a great
exception of
way.
those 2 years of the
Hmm.
peak basketball team that made the Elite Eight with Damari Carroll and Marcus Denman and Kim English, and the Chase Daniel, Jeremy Macklin led Mizzou football team. Mizzou loses the games that they miraculously are winning.
Yeah, no, it's a
And
great point.
and this year, in football, there were the couple games aside, and they lost to South Carolina, but they pulled out games I didn't think they would. And last year in football, they pulled out games, the Ohio State bowl game, that normally
yeah,
they blow our whole life with talented
yeah,
teams.
yeah.
So who knows?
And honestly, that was the only sporting event that I think I cared about on Sunday. Right? There
I
was
think they were certainly the only event with professionals playing, or at least people getting paid.
yeah, getting paid. Yeah, getting
So let's recap our bets. I'll go through them real quick. So we have a bet going right now. Is do the Chiefs win off stupid shit? This I'm a Chiefs fan. This keeps happening, and this whole game it did not. It felt like a pretty standard football game that the
it's
Chiefs were gonna.
the Chiefs are Aaron Paul in Breaking Bad, or what the rest of us watching the Chiefs are Aaron Paul in Breaking Bad. Why? How do you keep getting away with this? That's what I
Now
want to know.
this there was no. The Chiefs just made a field goal to win a game, but the way it doinked in, and also to be fair, it was already in when it doinked. But no one wants to hear any of that because it's not good for the narrative and the storytelling people have to talk themselves into to keep watching the NFL.
If that doink happens to 31 other teams, it doinks out. That was the
No, it
doink.
just also it does happen to teams. It's happened this year. Everyone just doesn't watch the other games. This is everyone's problem. I'm starting to just turn it don't watch the game.
Well, but that's easy to say. But the Chiefs are always, and for rightfully so. I'm not knocking them, but they're always on prime time.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are,
Not if
aside
people
from
quit
like two
watching, they wouldn't
weeks,
be.
a lot of the 2 weeks out of the year. Well, no, it's as long as if they stopped winning, they wouldn't be.
I don't know if they were like, no one's watching these games. We should put a different team in here. Let's flex some more.
No, they put the best. They
Not my
put the
fault.
best.
Everyone is addicted. It's not
Get
my
out
fault.
of here.
Everyone is
I hate
addicted.
you.
But it was
I
weird shit. It was a funny thing because it's their
It
third
was.
string kicker, which is insane. Because you know who their third string kicker actually is their fucking safety, and
Well,
he did
and
kickoffs the whole game. This is their fourth kicker on the team.
what makes it weird is what makes that ending weird was it should have just been a regular field goal. Like it should have just split the
What
uprights. It
people
was a
forget is the Chiefs just had a miraculous
25-yard field
It
goal.
was such a standard Mahomes and Kelsey 3 minutes left in the game. Everyone knew what the fuck was going to happen. It felt like overtime in the Super Bowl. They're just matriculating the ball down the field. And
When
then,
you
yeah,
watch that, as a fan, because I honestly don't know what this feeling is like.
yeah,
Because I watch games expecting the worst at all
yeah.
times. Like we just talked about with
Oh, I
Mizzou.
used to as well. It used to feel the same as a Chiefs fan as Mizzou fans did, which was choke the expectations away.
Right. So has that changed for you? Is that now are you just
Yeah.
like overly
Yeah.
confident? Are you just
Not
like
overly confident.
we get the ball back with 3 minutes left.
I
We've
did
got
not
this in the
think the
bag.
Chiefs were going to beat the Bills because there was that fourth down where Josh Allen scrambled to put the game away. That if the
Yeah.
Chiefs got the ball back, they're down two. Had the Chiefs stopped him there, I would have been like, yeah, we're probably going to win. But I didn't think they were going to stop him there. I was like, he's going to run for the first down. So I just knew exactly. You just, but yeah, when the Chiefs get the ball back with 3 minutes and doesn't matter if they have timeouts, I'm like, we need a field goal. This is why I think teams
I'm so
weird
jealous.
shit
I've
happens
never
to the
been
Chiefs.
more
This is why I
jealous
think
of a
weird shit
fan.
happens because teams are like, "Oh, it's the Chiefs. We have to play unlike we've ever played ever in the history." Like the Ravens are just like, "What if we never run the ball with 17 running backs
That in the
and two
AFC
Hall of
Championship
Famers?"
last year.
And you're just
Oh
like,
my gosh.
it's crazy. They play crazy because they're like, well, okay, do the math. If
They
Mahomes gets
overthink.
it with this, and if
Yeah.
we do this time, okay, and we can't let him keep timeouts, so run plays that make him use this. And then by the time you're done doing that, the Chiefs are like, we're gonna throw the ball to Marquez Valdez Scantling to close out a game. A guy who had 38 drops last year had 2 game closeout catches in the playoffs, and they're just, what are they gonna do this year? Now they actually have a guy who can catch. And he has 2 drops in the past 2 weeks. Hopkins has 2 drops in the past 2 weeks. He says he's going to check himself into therapy.
Yeah, I think that's only because
But I
he was a
did,
former
but it was
Titan.
just too weird. The doink is just too weird. So I said yes, this counts as a weird way to win. Had it just gone in,
Yeah.
I would have said no because a division game's always going to be close. And
Well,
the Chargers are good.
I was actually leaning on it not being a weird game
Yeah.
And because I bet no, I bet
I
that it
also
would
bet
not
no.
end in a weird way. And so, but then I
It's just
checked
too
with,
memey. It's too
I
memey.
asked my producer, I said, hey, was that a weird way that the Chiefs won? Was that and he goes, oh yeah, definitely. So I was like, all right, you're an
We are looking
unbiased
for it. It's
source.
like the Will Levis memes. People are
Yeah.
trying to meme it even when if this had been the first one of these this year, I probably would have said no. But at the end of a string of things, people are because I don't think the Ravens game was a weird win. The Ravens didn't
Well,
make a play, and they still would have been losing if he caught that. I
and
I don't think the Broncos game was a weird way to win. They made a good play on a guy who had been getting his ass kicked all year.
you're incredibly biased. They're
If you think
definitely
it's weird
they're
that people block a field, they've been 15 separate teams. We say this in have
no
blocked.
a field goal that short. That was like a 30-yarder,
It was
and
a.
it
It
was
was. I also don't think the Raiders would have. I think had they not fumbled the ball, probably missed a 55-yard field goal. Their kicker
I
had missed
don't
three already in that game. But it's
I
the accumulation of it all is funny.
Yes, yeah. That the being out by a toe against the Ravens in week one
Yeah,
is
I
like
mean,
where it all
had he landed
started.
that, they would have been able to then maybe still lose by one. They were losing still. People forget that because it's a good
Well, no,
highlight.
I mean that was a game tying touchdown.
No,
They
it
kicked the
wasn't. They
extra
would have
point.
had to go for two to win or a field goal extra point to tie
Yeah,
it.
yeah, an extra point. I mean,
They
like
said they were going
it's
to go for two. That's what I'm saying. Their coach said they were going to go for two. They were already lining up to go for. It's
right. So yeah. So I mean, but they
so
have
they
an
would have had a
opportunity
chance to
to
lose a
win
different
the
way.
game.
Is ultimately what it was.
Yeah. So
None of the only one that was a game winner where the team. Well, I don't know. Altogether, it's hilarious, and I'm here for
it
it.
is.
But
It is.
ultimately, this is just what happens. Teams
And then
just.
and no joke, we'll bring it up with our guest Eddie from Barstool this week, who's a massive Bears fan. The exact opposite, because living and working here in Chicago, it is everyone here is the Bears have lost every single
Oh,
game. It
I've
feels
been.
like
This is what
in
the
the
Chiefs
exact
used to
opposite
be.
way, and like they find like new ways
The
to
Chiefs
lose
used to lose
games.
a game when a Titans player threw to himself, or when Andrew Luck fumbled to himself in a 18-point comeback
Yeah,
in the
right.
third quarter. Like this
And
just used to happen.
those are just the playoff losses
Those were
too.
play. It used to just be this crazy, crazy stuff happening. All, but I don't know. It's weird. It's funny. It's all happening. I don't think it's going to happen again. But Eddie had a good point. They're playing Jameis, so it might be the weirdest game of the whole fucking year.
Era's tour is finally over. Are we going to see Taylor as a mainstay
I
at
don't
Chiefs
know.
games now?
How long
I
is a
know
tour allowed to go? I think I'm sorry. If it's the third calendar year,
I think it is. No,
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 just
it's
23,
technically the
24, huh?
second one. It was 2 full years. Yeah.
I'm just like I guess this is a tour still. It's like
They,
saying
you know what's
golf. It's like saying golfers are really on tour. I'm like, I feel
she
like they go home a lot in between.
she played so many places. Probably my favorite show that she played was my kitchen. It was honestly, you should have been there. It was epic. That was
I couldn't get tickets to that. I had a impeded view ticket to the one in your kitchen.
my neighbor's bonus room was also another epic show. She did a lot of secret songs at that one.
I want to go through some ways because what this highlights from our bets is we're really good at setting the lines on this bullshit.
We're oddly good at setting lines
Like
in this
everything. So
podcast.
we had a bet was will Skip Bayless tweet more on Sunday than the top scoring team scores points that day. He
Yeah.
tweeted 39 times. The Rams scored 44 points. And that was then the
That
Rams and the Bills and one other team were right around there. That was such a good line.
that's a
39.
great line. It is
39
such a good
tweets.
line.
So we all lost money on that one because we all took the tweets.
Julie hit us up on Sunday, was like, "Come on, Skip, I need you to tweet more."
Penix did not play. We had the does Penix play at all in the
Mm,
Minnesota game? He did not. That was my lock. This is where we had the separation because you said he would at least get in. He didn't get in at all. And we weren't able to hit the does my Penix show shrinkage multiplier.
yeah. Damn.
Austin's fantasy team scored 114 points. Is that more or less than the Titans gave up rushing yards? My God. My God, the Titans gave up 267 rushing yards to
Wait, this
Washington.
no, no, no. That was 2 weeks ago. That was
Oh,
two
it
weeks
was?
ago.
Did I look
Yeah,
up?
yeah, yeah. No, this game was way more
Oh, was
boring.
this was the Jags the game they just
This was
played?
Titans Jags. Yeah, they Titans gave up.
I looked at the wrong one. The Titans only had 71, so this changes a lot of scoring here. This was your lock. This is a huge
This
swing and a missed score for me looking up. Not that I don't pay too much attention to the Titans, but I looked
okay.
up a
No, no,
different.
no, no. If anything, like that was any other game, I'd give you shit for it. But it was Titans Jags. Like I am, they were this game was mostly
So this
empty.
takes you back to a plus 350 instead of a minus 1150 because this is
Don't
your lock
don't let me get hot. So I'm at plus 350 now.
instead of minus 1150. So let me do some
Okay.
math here. So what
Okay,
is that?
I'll filibuster a little bit. For those that missed the Jaguars Titans game, the Titans led the game for most of the day, leading by 6 points through three quarters. And then the Jaguars came roaring back with quarterback Mac Jones as Trevor Lawrence is on the IR. And the Doug Peterson and crew somehow
Austin
managed
Huff,
to squeak
you
out a
are
victory against
currently
division
at
rival.
$4,212.
All right.
This is
That,
almost
that,
a. Oh wait, I
and I
added that to
gained
the wrong number. I added that to the wrong number. I'm sorry. Wait, no, I didn't. Yes,
I had
4,212.
350. 350.
4212.
Okay. All right. Look, that makes me feel
Because
so much better.
what did I? Yeah. Yep. Because it's like a 1,300 point swing at
And
least.
what was Julie's final score?
Negative 1,600.
Negative
No one else
1600.
bet on your fantasy team's points.
God love
Um,
her.
how
I knew my fantasy team was going to come through in the clutch, even though I did miss the playoffs because I know everyone was
did every
wondering.
single team come through in the clutch though? The Titans only gave up 71 yards rushing.
That's true. I no, honestly, you know what's funny is statistically, the Titans had fewer than four penalties. They gave up fewer than three sacks allowed. It was like statistically, the Titans played a very good game. And
Defensively.
if you put together all of those stats in the game,
Mhm.
defensively and even offensively, because they
It
made
was
it to the
crazy.
red zone.
I was like, I have Tony Pollard in fantasy. I'm like, this dude has 130
Oh,
yards.
he played. Tony Pollard went off. He was incredible. The Titans played so good. If you bundled up all the stats that the
Yeah.
Titans played by, teams that have those stats were 80-0 going into Sunday.
Like their
They are now
accumulation
80.
stats.
They are now 80-1, just
Well,
based
the
off
problem
of.
was that Tony Pollard also was tied for the team lead in touchdowns.
Yeah. Okay. All right. At zero.
How do you got zero? How do you move the ball this much?
He actually
Did you
scored.
miss field goals too or something? What happened? No, he didn't even miss
No,
any. Were there
two
turnovers?
trips.
What happened?
No, two trips to the red zone that resulted in 0 points.
Was it just fourth down conversions that failed?
They had two touchdowns called back for penalty,
Okay.
one of which was an egregious call.
They must have
But
rigged
yeah,
that
it
for
was
the
just
Chiefs.
it probably is. No, and you know what? I do have this take, and this is probably going to take that pisses you off, but I do believe it, and it's not just a Chiefs thing. I think the better teams get they get better calls from referees. Like when like teams like the Titans, because I think there's this perception, and it's not even a perception, it's reality. The teams that are better coached, right? The Bills, the
Yeah, I mean, if
Chiefs,
I look at the teams with the most penalties, it's Baltimore. They suck. Um,
okay.
then Tennessee is the second most penalized
Tennessee is
team.
bad. Tennessee is bad. And
But
then
Baltimore is like overcoming, but it's like Green Bay has a lot of penalties. Seattle has a lot of penalties. I don't see a lot of rhyme or reason between record and lack of penalties. Arizona, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, and the Rams.
well, I think it's the you know what I'd love to do? And I'll do this. I'll do my this will be my homework.
Last three games, the Chiefs have the most penalties in the league.
I will look into the referee scores. You know, like how many calls were missed versus made. Do they do that? Do they have those
No,
like
you're
umpire? You
thinking
know,
of
like they have
umpire scores.
umpire report cards.
Yeah,
Do they
I
not
think
have
it would
that in the
be
NFL?
every single play would be the problem because you'd have to start making subjective calls for holds. You know what I mean?
Did you see the missed face mask on Joe Burrow last night? Like it's just
There's like five of those a week now.
I
It's
know
hard. I
it's
think they should just hire referees full time. I can't believe this is like a thing they don't do.
it really is. They're literally part timers. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that there's bad calls all the time everywhere, and I think that good teams just overcome and it bad teams' margin of error is so low that if they are on a roll and it gets derailed, that might have been their only good drive of the game or something like that. I
Yeah.
do think it's something to be that. There might be something to the rest of it. I people really like narratives. I mean,
Here,
you
wait,
really have to
wait.
do narratives.
I found that stat that I was referring to. Four or less penalties, 50% on third down conversion rate, time of possession 30.07 plus, and turnover margin is +2 or better. That was the Titans game on Sunday.
Right, like
They had
all
all of
the
those.
milestones you hope to hit to win a game.
Yeah, right, exactly. And their opponent has 5+ penalties and 49% or less on third down conversion rate. 80-1 those teams are. The Titans are the lone loss. And that's since 1920. Awesome. Anyway, let's should we go ahead and get to our guest? I don't know.
We're not the only I want to finish the rest of the bets here. The Bears coach, more shots of a new coach or points from the Bears. Bears coach got a lot of shots.
That
It,
and
it
I'll
was
say
honestly
that
just the
line
Bears let
that
us
line
down. That was a decent line.
it was a good line because the final was 23 shots of Thomas Brown as the new interim head coach for the
Yeah.
Bears. 23 shots. The Bears like averaged 25 points or 20 points or something. Like they should have had way more than
Yeah.
13 points against the Niners.
Yeah.
I was upset with the Bears about that and that alone.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could go down this rabbit hole of NFL refereeing stuff all the time. We have a million cameras, everything's in slow motion. It's hard, and ultimately they should. I love the expressed review that they've been doing, where they're just like, we took another look at it real quick, and we're not even going to make you challenge. That's a step
Yeah.
forward. I just think another step forward would be if the refs were employees.
They should be, honestly.
I think
Right.
the refs
Like
should have a contract with the NFL that's more than the contract I have with someone when I write roast jokes for them.
yeah, the NFL is $1 billion industry, and
Yeah.
we are paying guys like they're part-time Sbarro employees at the
I
mall.
I also think we should the refs need to all be less jacked. They're all too big. They're too buff.
I think they need to be more jacked. I
Or
think
should
they're
they
not jacked
maybe they
enough.
don't steroid test refs.
See, yeah. Let's pump some freaking
Yeah.
some HGH into these guys.
Yeah. Well,
Let's get some
yeah,
creatine.
because what we need is their egos to grow. I think that
We need their head
I don't
sizes
think
to
it's
grow.
I think it has been particularly bad this year, but also the narrative. Like it's always bad. I imagine if you go
It's
back
always
and look
bad.
at if you go back and look at I have a lot. I think about this a lot when it comes to the NFL is relearning tackling. Right, we're on the other end of how these guys need to tackle for safety's sake. And so these are guys who've come up tackling one way and are now in the league relearning it as adults, and it's hard. It's like learning a new language when you're a kid versus an adult. It's going to be more difficult to adjust, and they're just calling stuff. I also think comment sections don't know how the NFL works.
No.
No
Well,
one knows
no. Well,
no
yeah,
one knows
look,
what a false start is. I'm going to sit
if
here
you're
and tell you guys, you don't know what a false start is. Juwan Taylor is not false starting.
okay,
You're allowed
this
to-
is Kyle.
No. Because do you not watch Lane Johnson? Do you not watch 8 guys do this? The Rams right tackle does. You're allowed to move your left. You're allowed to move your leg backwards if it doesn't set down before the ball is snapped. It's literally legal. But Chris Collinsworth doesn't know it, so everyone hears Chris Collinsworth say it, and they pretend that that's the rule, that he's right, and it's literally
No.
the rule. It's literally
Now,
the rule.
Here's a guy who's trying to defend his.
Now
world
here's a
champion
guy
Chiefs.
who but would you rather be right or just be mad at the Chiefs?
I mean, you're not going to stop the tidal wave of anger towards the Chiefs.
Oh no, I don't
so
care. Be mad at you should be mad at the Chiefs all day, but it's not the rule. That's just
like
what it is. It's just not the
because
rule.
you've got fans of teams like mine, that are so bad, and you have to watch you have to be miserable for
Sure.
60 minutes every single Sunday. And
Sure.
then in prime time, you not only see the Chiefs put together flawless performances week in and week out, but you see the broadcast crews fawn over them, and rightfully so. I'm not knocking them for fawning over the Chiefs, but you're just like, damn it. Like my team can't freaking put more than 3 plays together on a drive, and the Chiefs are here, they've lost one game in their last 16 or whatever,
Sure.
like
No, I mean,
it's just
I get the overexposure.
that's where
They're definitely
the
overexposed, and I wish that they weren't in prime time as much. And I think people just have the narratives that they want to have about them, and they say those things about
Yeah.
them.
And
But
because
ultimately,
they are
Juwan
in
Taylor
prime
is not
time-
false starting,
and
and I'm
because
like, that's the one I'm most tired of.
because they are in prime time, everything is magnified
Yeah,
tenfold.
sure.
Nobody's watching the Titans Jaguars at noon on Sunday. People are watching Sunday night football. We've been waiting all day for Sunday night.
I think with this one, we've all just figured out how it's gonna go, and that just is what it is. And it's just exciting to, you gotta hate on the heels. You really do. And the
Oh
Chiefs are the
yeah.
heel, and at some point they
I
won't
mean,
be.
it's the same way Chiefs fans felt about the Patriots for 20 years. It's the
Right. You
same
tap
thing.
Tom Brady's helmet and get a penalty, and you're like, that's not a penalty. And they're like, well, it is, and
Exactly.
that's how they call it.
Exactly.
I just wish
And
if you guys are
now,
gonna talk shit on the Chiefs, it's I before E, except you know what I mean? After so just spell Chiefs right.
uh, listen, no, I'm kind of like, I'm one of those fans that loves to call the Braves the Barves. I
Also, throw
like,
the apostrophe at the end of that Chiefs if you're referring to the collective as a whole in a possessive. This is
no, it's
where
just
my
one
biggest
chief.
angry thing is. No, the one chief is the white guy the team is named after.
Uh,
That is who
it,
it
it's
actually is. Is the team is named after one white guy who called himself
I
chief.
no, I see. I thought they were named after the Eric Church Bar on Lower Broadway in Nashville.
Yeah, that's a ref. Everyone's on board with that reference.
Hey, if we got any
Um,
Titans fans listening, they know what I'm talking about.
refs are bad.
Uh,
They're always bad. They're bad. They're going to be bad till the NFL hires them full time or lets you. You can't challenge everything. We tried that, and their egos are too big. Remember when we could challenge
yeah.
pass interference, and they were like, "Nah." That was
Oh
insane.
gosh, that was don't ever take me back to that spot. That was
It's
like a
bad.
fever dream
If it
of
upsets everyone, just watch something
I you
else.
knew from the get-go that was gonna be
Yeah.
bad. Hey Kyle, honestly, and I didn't even think about this until now. Should we have worked some college football playoff bets into our because it's technically football, and like we always bet on the most
This is
of the
I don't
sports
even
of the
want to
sports
keep
of
going
sports.
because we got a great guest.
We do have a great
What we
guest.
need to do is Austin expand this podcast and make doing lines a segment at the end so we can here's the everyone complained about the BCS and so they're like we'll do a playoff and then everyone
Oh,
complained
I
about who
love
was
the
left out
BCS.
of the playoff and so they're like we'll expand the playoff and now everyone expanded the playoff and everyone's like the wrong teams are in. It's like I don't know what the
Yeah,
fuck you want. I literally saw a bunch of
I
like
oh
huge people being like it should just be Oregon and Georgia for the national title and then the rest should play bowl games. I'm like motherfucker, we did that
Kyle,
and everyone
this is
complained all day.
I
It's
you and
so
I have
funny.
never you and I mostly disagree on everything. I could not be more on board with this take. I've been screaming it from the rafters since 2017,
Motherfuckers
since
just
they
want to
announced the
complain.
I am all for. I was against the 4-team playoff. The BCS got it right. Then we'll leave it on that. We'll hit on
I
this on
just
another day
let's
because we do have
we're
to get
let
to
no. I'm
Eddie.
gonna break down the bracket and tell me if this should not be. If it was the BCS, do you think it should be Oregon? If it's a 4-team playoff, everyone would.
Yeah,
This year would have made people lose their fucking minds. If
yeah,
Oregon and Georgia and Boise and Arizona State were the 4 teams
yeah.
in the playoff, people would
Well,
have lost their
those would have
minds.
been those are just the division winners. They would have gone off rankings. So it would have been
Oregon,
Oregon,
Georgia, Notre
Georgia.
Dame, Penn State, maybe or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's how because I think Penn State's the number 4 team in the country.
But with the 12 there's 12 if they put 100 people watch March this is what they don't realize people watch March Madness and complain about the first team left out motherfucker they're just gonna complain there's
Yeah,
68 teams in it and they're
right.
like well that 69th team should have been 67th and you're just like no one gives a shit unless they beat
Yeah.
Kansas
Oh,
no
trust
one
me.
cares people will
I
complain no matter what it is I mean first clip I saw was someone being like this team not even just the Bama thing but people being like there's too many teams in it some of these
what
aren't
I
good
always
I'm like
compare it to Facebook. Do you remember when Facebook first started, Kyle? You and I were in college,
oh
not
yeah
to
poke each
age
other
us. Yeah, we poked each other so hard.
yeah
You had to have a .edu email address
hmm
to sign up for a Facebook account.
hmm
Then all of a sudden they expanded it to high schoolers.
hmm
And that was very short-lived before they expanded it to anyone. And
Burbot.
then your aunt and your parents and your
Yeah.
grandparents started getting on Facebook. And it sucked. Facebook started sucking almost instantly once they opened the floodgates and let more
Yeah.
people in. It sometimes exclusivity is a cool
College
thing.
football
Some
needs to build that wall and the NIL will pay for it.
That's what I'm talking about. Make college football great again.
McFugbuga. It is just, I mean, it is. So I just think people got to complain because that's where the takes are. And I think everyone is, if we bring it all the way back, I think the Chiefs are very overexposed, and I think the Kelsey brothers are becoming the Chiefs of people, where everyone's like, no, yeah, we liked it, but come on. And now I see the college football thing comes out, and I'm like, well, we got to be so happy. There's finally 12, and small teams are in, and half the teams in are horses, so we have to be excited about that. And then everyone's complaining about the small teams being in, and not enough small teams being in, and too many teams, and the teams being bad. I'm like, well, teams get worse? That's why they're ranked 12th.
Right. Everyone's got to hate on something until it happens. Or love on something until it happens. Then they hate on it.
Do you think Boise State beating Oklahoma that one time broke it forever? Because everyone was like, put them in, and then that was the greatest college football game, maybe outside the Texas USC game. That game was fucking nuts. They won on TV in a cool way with a million trick plays. It was so sick. And then everyone's like, well, maybe they're good.
I think a lot of us thought it was going to change after that, but it didn't. It really wasn't. Like
but it put in everyone's head that these smaller schools should be here.
That it could happen, and honestly, TCU has done it a number of times before they joined the Big 12. They did. I
see this matchup. I don't think Clemson. Only way Clemson beats Texas if Texas's starting quarterback is really healthy, and the best thing that could ever happen to Texas is this starting quarterback goes into concussion protocol, and they put in their better player,
Arch Manning.
But Oregon is the number 1 team in the country and has to play the winner of Tennessee, Ohio State, which is psychotic. Those teams are good.
Yeah, Tennessee, Oregon as the number 1 team in the country has got the worst draw when it comes to.
They literally might go Ohio State, Tennessee, and Texas to try and make it.
Yeah,
and Georgia is like, I'll play Indiana and then one of these horses.
Yeah. It's like the Lions. If they ever win the Super Bowl, everyone's going to turn on them. They're going to hate them. It's same thing with the college football.
People are already turning on the Lions. They're like, they play dirty, they push off, they hold. They're
that's the thing. It's like they're reaching the top of the mountaintop, and then it's the same thing. Like the Chiefs, everyone was pulling for the Chiefs up until they,
everyone
they just stopped.
Wants to turn on Josh Allen so bad.
Yeah, but they won't until
the second he wins the Super Bowl, they'll be like, this flopping motherfucker's girlfriend, wife is not in enough Marvel movies.
The college football playoff, I feel like it's going to, I don't know. It just sucks that it's like people are like, well, we love March Madness. Yeah, but nobody watches the regular season in college basketball. The difference about college football more than any other sport, even the other levels of college football, the FCS and all of that, in FBS college football, Division I, the regular season meant more than any other sport ever. The regular season was the playoff.
If Mizzou had made one other tackle, they would be in this. That's how much the regular season mattered.
Think about how much we used to rally around our TVs for Iron Bowl to see if Auburn or Alabama would be dethroned. And then if they lost that game, their season was done. They're not going to the national championship. And now all of a sudden because with each passing week with the BCS system, games meant more and more and more. The more you won, the more stakes there were.
It was that combined with like the conference realignment is so crazy. I really don't even think. I think NIL is like their 5th problem right now. NIL and the transfer portal is so low to me down their totem pole problem because everyone's mad at players for getting money. It's because these schools are grabbing so much by getting rid of every conference. Honestly, truly. And no one wants to blame them, and we have to get to our guest. Texas started it all when they made their own television network, and no one wants to have that conversation. But Texas made their own television network, and it blew up the Big 12, and it started it all.
Right. You're right. You're 1,000% right. And with all of this said, I think it's absurd that the Chiefs made the college football playoff. It is. At what point does it stop?
Here's the worst case for the college. Here's my worst case for college football playoff is the first team that plays Boise State shuts their running back down.
Yeah, Ashton Jeanty.
If Penn State plays Boise State, if a big school that didn't win their conference plays Boise State and destroys them and shuts him down, it's going to be a bad look.
Yeah, but fortunately, the Heisman will be awarded either before that or after,
which
I do think he should. I think he should win it.
It's crazy. I just think he should win based on how he stands. I'm going to start doing this for podcasts. I'm just going to stand completely upright.
He's Michael Myers, and he went as Michael Myers for Halloween this year, which was so much self-awareness. So I love that.
We got a bunch of good bets. We got this.
Yeah, we got a lot of great bets. Eddie from Barstool. Let's get to him. All right, we're joined now by a guy I'm very excited to have on the podcast, mainly because he is on the he's definitely on the Mount Rushmore of Barstool Chicago, but dare I say he might be on the Mount Rushmore of just Chicago sports fans. This is a dude who lives and dies with his Chicago teams, and it's actually infectious. It's awesome. You can find him Eddie Barstool on Instagram and Twitter. And correct me if I'm wrong. Number 50, former defensive lineman at St. Patrick's High School.
You got that right. You say infectious. It could also be portrayed as sad because it's a lot of sad. So,
Eddie, dude, how are you, man?
Good, man. I'm happy to be here. It was great to meet you a couple months ago. I like this. I like this idea for a show, so I'm excited to do it.
Yeah, we are supremely
really
dumb. Yeah,
yeah.
No one has left here
smarter.
I'm a week off of a little hair procedure that I did in Turkey, so bear with me. I don't look like this unusual. I don't look great.
I might have to get the details. I might have to get them. I might have to hit you up about that. I'm a hat guy.
Did you have to go to Turkey to get this done? Is it they do something special over there?
Austin, you are not on the same algorithm as me because I know why he had to go to Turkey.
We went to Turkey because we filmed a video of us doing it. That's why we did it.
Okay.
There. But you're right. Turkey is the spot, Kyle.
It's the spot. They put you up. It's like, Cancun's got its all-inclusive resorts. Turkey has its all-inclusive hair adjustment procedural resorts.
Before we get to your fake charity that you'll be playing for, do you feel like a new man? Do you feel better? Do you feel like it was a waste of time? What's your outcome from it?
They gave me this like Peaky Blinders haircut, so I feel like a douchebag more than anything else.
Look, I wouldn't mess with you. If I ran into you in the alleyway in Chicago, I wouldn't mess with you, dude, with that haircut.
Yeah. I like the idea that they just give you a haircut based on whatever Netflix show is available there. Just be happy they didn't give you the House of Cards.
Yeah, the non-VPN versions. Yes. Right.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, listen, Eddie, we are all very much people of means. We're so wealthy, which is why we are actually doing this podcast. So because of that, since we are all just people, we're made of money. We like to, in turn, take the fake money that we win on this podcast and donate to fake causes. So is there a fake charity that you will be playing for this week?
Yeah, guys, I'm going to be playing for the Beef Cup Foundation.
Oh, the Beef Cup Foundation.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, I think it's 9.5 out of 10 guys don't wear jock straps or cups during intramural sports. It's actually really bad. If something happens, they're not protected. That they won't be able to be filed on insurance. So what we do is we go around, we hand out jock straps, raise money, and make sure these people are protected before they go out there to play.
That's great.
It's a noble cause.
That people don't know this, but the 0.5 in that 9.5 out of 10 is at 0.5 because he wasn't wearing a jock strap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Moment of silence for those we've lost in the time of intramural sports. Okay, so the Beef Cup Foundation is what all of Eddie's money will be going towards this week. We hope we can fit some fine gentlemen after this, or if not, then we'll have to come. Send our fake collector out to get you. Maybe break some fake.
Won't even be able to recognize him anymore. Honestly,
if you finish in the red, that's true. I don't know. Yeah, now with the Peaky Blinders haircut, it's like I don't know. Maybe we don't.
We'll send our collector to a McDonald's to see if he recognizes anyone to turn in.
All right, Eddie. So Kyle and I have 6 bets that we're going to lay out in front of you, all from the NFL, and they. We do ask that you bet on at least 2 of the 6 bets. You don't have to bet on all 6. But we also ask that you do make one of those bets your lock, which is double the winnings or triple the losses. You ready to roll?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, I'll lay my 3 out here first, and then Austin will lay his 3 out. My first one, this is a continuation that's been going on for a while now. This is the Chiefs stupid shit continue. I'm a Chiefs fan. Do they win in some stupid meme bullshit asinine manner again? We thought it would end last week. I was so sure it was a regular field goal going in, and I would have considered it ending. Just a field goal. But no, the doink happened, so the bet continues on. The Chiefs play the Browns at 10 a.m. this week. That's how bad the vibes are with the Browns, is they buried the Chiefs at 10 a.m. I guess noon, Chicago time. Does it continue? That's it. Do the Chiefs win from some stupid shit that pisses everyone off? That's the bet. And then that's a yes or a
This is
no. Oh, and this one does have a
Eddie meeting
multiplier.
Eddie meeting Kyle is like like someone meeting their other self in the upside down in like Stranger Things or something, in the sense that Eddie being a Bears fan, they have lost in every stupid way possible, and the Chiefs have won in every stupid way possible. It's like the reverse Spider-Man meme.
I think
Hey,
there's a
what's it like? Like, like to be like
we I remember what it was like to be on the other side. I've got a Tyler Thigpen jersey uh, that
um,
I bought new.
yeah, okay, fair enough.
I've been
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I mean, we saw the fork in the road, and it was a draft. It was an NFL draft, and I know it'll end someday, and I'm just gonna shamelessly have the best fucking time ever.
Yeah, no, you
While
should.
before it
You
does. So
should.
does the Chiefs stupid shit happens? It's got to end at some point. But the Browns feel like a team that will be they're a scoregami candidate every week. So we'll see. My next bet. Bills play the Lions. This is the game of the week for me. This is going to be a very good game. The most important thing in this game is that it's two blue mascots jumping to the right. So I think this is what everyone thinks of when they think of Bills and Lions. Their logos are both blue animals jumping to the right.
That's the first thing anyone thinks about.
Over
Yeah.
under 1.5 touchdowns where the player jumps into the end zone in this game. Josh Allen loves to call his own number and jump in. The
Now,
Lions are
and
always having a good time.
so like a dive in, if Josh Allen dives in like
Just hit
underneath the
both
guy,
feet leave
does
the
that
ground,
count?
not just sort of like a jaunty run. But
Okay.
this is in this is my main storyline from the game is how they both have blue mascots jumping to the right. Uh, Over under 1.5 where they leap in, and then my last bet. It's late in the season. A lot of teams aren't playing for much, but a lot of teams. I asked you about this when we first started. Vibes. Do the good vibes roll? There's three teams I feel like have immaculate vibes right now with very different records, and that's the Lions, the Rams, and the Panthers. These teams, the Panthers are vibe. They are having a good time not being good because it looks like they might be on the right direction. And then the Rams are the scariest team I've ever seen, be it one game above 500. And the Lions, I don't think I've ever seen a football team with this vibe since like Mahomes' first season he started, where it was just chaos. Those are my good vibe teams. My three teams with rancid vibes and very different records are the Eagles, the Jets, and the Browns. The Eagles are so good, and then they seem so unhappy. It's almost like their coach is a nightmare. Like their vibes are so bad that Nick Sirianni is like reasonable.
Yeah.
And here's the
Yeah,
bet
yeah.
from me. Do the good vibe teams, Lions, Rams, and Panthers, have a higher margin of victory total than the bad vibes teams' margin of loss?
Oh,
Like a
okay.
net. So if
Okay.
the Lions and Rams and Panthers win by 10, and then total, the Jets, Eagles, and Browns lose by 12 total, like adding all their points, their scores together, do the good vibes roll? And who knows, the bad
Okay.
vibe teams might all win their games.
And that would be a negative margin, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Eagles play the Steelers, so that once again is Steelers really don't get blown out that much. Uh, where's the Jets? The Jets play
The Jets
the
played the
Jags,
Jaguars.
and the
Yeah.
Browns play the Chiefs. So those are three close to, who knows. And then the Lions play the Bills. The
And so for
Rams
that
play the
bet, you
49ers.
just pick good vibes or bad vibes.
Yeah. What is that thing where you just take the I don't even remember from math, where even if it's a negative, that's your number. So do the
Okay.
good vibe teams higher margin of victory than the bad vibe teams margin of loss. So I got Chiefs stupid shit, jumping touchdowns, and the vibes.
Okay.
Cool.
My bets. This my first bet is just called bad teams. There are currently 7 teams eliminated from the playoffs: Browns, Jags, Jets, Titans, Patriots, Raiders, and Giants. Those teams combined for 19 wins. When you when you exclude background vocals on Michael Jackson's hit song "Bad," he says the word "bad" 33 times. Now, is there, of the eliminated teams by the end of the week 15, will their combined win total surpass 33? Okay. So they're at 19. Of those 7 teams that are already eliminated, does their combined win total surpass 33? Now, you're probably thinking, yeah, there's no chance those, even if all 7 teams win, you're at what? 26 wins? We are also counting teams that get eliminated this week. So, for example, if the Bears get eliminated this week, that's 4 more wins added to the total. So,
Yeah, we were all thinking, what about the set? My eyes were just glazed over. And you're like, I know what you're thinking. I'm like, I bet you don't, because it's nothing.
no.
That is insane.
Of the teams that are already eliminated, plus the teams that get eliminated, is the win total at the end of the day over 33. It's currently at 19. Panthers, Cowboys, Bears, and Bengals are all on the chopping block this weekend.
Well, Bengals play the Titans. So.
Okay, easy, dude. My next bet: Skull Vikings. In honor of Eddie being on with us, the Vikings are having a whiteout on Monday night against the Bears, while the Bears fans will probably be having a blackout. The Vikings chant Skull, and the Chicagoans are probably going to chug Skull, which a bottle of Skull, for those that don't know, at your local Jewel Osco goes for about $14.99. So do the Vikings have a scoring drive over under 14.99 plays? So 15 plays or more, do they have a scoring drive for 15 more? Because if they do, we'll probably be chugging that Skull.
Oh, I'm going to be there. I didn't know it was a whiteout.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So wear orange. Wear an orange Bears jersey or something. Just break up that whiteness. Okay.
Jesus.
Yeah, the Vikings are wearing their alternate white helmet, white uniforms completely. So,
oh my God, that sounds unbearable.
It's really, really hard to picture that much white in Minnesota.
Yeah,
indeed is.
And then my last bet. This one's called JZ.
Oh boy.
The two teams in the NFL whose team names start with J face off in what is sure to be a snooze fest, the Jets and the Jaguars. Now, as we know, Jay-Z famously has 99 problems, but with his latest allegation, I think that brings him to an even 100. So this bet is simple. Does any running back, receiver, or tight end go over 100 yards rushing or receiving in this game? Set the over-under at 99.5 for that. So does anyone go over 100 yards in that game? Jets, Jags. Do the bad teams win total surpass 33? And Skull
Obsessed
Vikings.
with you sliding in at the end pedophile allegations. Like,
huh? What? Why? Hey, allegations.
Are the Chiefs wacky? These two mascots are jumping to the right. Do the bad teams do good? And then Austin's like, did this really famous guy? Like, is this pedophile's most famous song relate to
the lawyers that are tuning into Doing Lines for the first time? Allegedly, okay, alleged. Yeah, we know what Beyonce moms liked on Instagram, but she says she was hacked. Okay, it's alleged at this point.
Wait, what? I don't even want to get into it, honestly.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, do we all know what Beyonce's mom does on Instagram?
No,
we all don't loop me into we all.
Sorry, I work at radio with a different demographic than you guys.
Oh man. Okay,
all right,
so
Eddie,
there's our 6
You've got
bets.
the six bets laid out. If you need us to, obviously rehash any of them.
What an incredibly practical bet as well for that one. I'm not going to let us just like move. It wouldn't. Okay.
What?
No, not allegations.
Allegedly, Kyle. Allegedly. Anyway,
Austin, you work at a country music station. I thought legally you weren't even allowed to acknowledge Beyonce.
Beyonce's in country now, technically, in a way, in a roundabout way. So,
in a roundabout way, what are you, the CMAs?
No, yeah, right, exactly.
That's
right,
everything
Eddie.
I know about country now.
Eddie,
All right,
let's get you
whatever
to
you want to bet on, parlay anything, lock one in. It's
right.
up to all for the
so
beef cup
$1,000, right?
$1,000. Yeah, fake
$1,000.
cash. Yeah, we should emphasize that.
I could spend it how I want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if I just like 2 of them, I could just go with 2 of them.
Yep.
Yeah, you could do 500 on each. We've done that. We had $1
on one and $9.99.99 on the other.
I think that was Pat Tomasulo.
Yeah, and he lost 3,000. He lost both of them.
Yeah.
I kind of like that thought process because there's one I love. There's one bet I absolutely love.
Okay.
I just want to hammer. Okay. but I'm not going to go all in like Pat Tomasula just in case. I want to try to get, you know, the Beef Cup Foundation some money if it goes haywire.
Sure.
It's for a good cause, Eddie.
Yes. So I'll start with this. I'll put 200 on the Skull under.
Okay.
All right. The Bears held the Vikings in check for the most part. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison does, but Jefferson was in check. I think this time is not going to be so great. The Bears have seemed to quit. And I think that's a long drive. So I don't think people will be getting their skull on, at least from the bottle, on Monday night.
So this is like the Bears won't put up the fight to make it 15.
Absolutely, precisely.
Okay. Eddie's like, I drank all my skull last week, and over the last 3 weeks playing the division opponents. Okay.
Yes. My other bet, 800. Put all the rest on there.
Oh, here we go.
Is if you're gonna say, does the dumb shit Chiefs game end against Jameis fucking? That's just not gonna be possible, right? He is the dumb shit king, and I love Jameis. No disrespect, but
yeah.
I mean, come on. I never felt better about a bet.
That's a great point, because it's like, it's one thing to factor in the Chiefs doing just winning in the dumbest way possible, but then when you factor the opponent, that's his entire brand.
Yeah,
that's it. So yeah, I feel good about where I invested heavily on something I believe in the most, and then I sprinkled something that I feel good about. So
no, that's great. That is fantastic. Okay, so $1,000 allocated, 800 to the Chiefs winning in a dumb way. The Skull under 15 play scoring drive for the Vikings on Monday night, which you will be in attendance for.
I will be there, and you got me thinking about the whiteout for the rest of the week. So thank you.
Hey, now are you gonna you can't blend in with a white Bears jersey, right? Are you gonna go? Do you know what your attire is gonna be?
I don't know yet, but yeah, I guess white's out of the picture though, right? I can't
just go completely neon. Just go completely neon with like a Bears hat or something.
Yeah, I could do that. That's an option.
Yeah.
Bears bucket hat, maybe.
Yeah. Although you do want to show off that new haircut. I feel like that's
yeah, true. Some guy with a Viking locks next to me. It'd be a good clash, that's for sure.
I could see if by this point the Lions have won their game, I could see the Vikings being a little let down though. They've got a lot riding on the Lions losing another game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think for some reason I have more faith in the Bears to just play weird upset sometimes than any Bears fan has ever thought.
I'm kind of with you, but I thought we were going to win on Sunday. To be honest, once I saw that, it's like, oh my God, these guys are like.
Yeah, the interim coach bump is like, I thought it was in fact, we had a bet about that just last week. Did the Bears score more points than shots of Thomas Brown on the sidelines? And the shots of Thomas Brown was only at 23. And the Bears
it was really all lined
13
up.
Points.
That was disappointing, just because you're playing like a good team on a down year, very hurt. That's like the kind of time an upset happens and you feel a little upward swing of momentum. We'll see though. I don't know. Yeah. I'm still hanging on the Bears being like only losing one more game or something. I don't know why. I'm just like fascinated by the team. I'm like, they have all these parts. What is happening?
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. The Bears they got that frisky factor, but hey. This 4-2 is about to turn into 4-13 real quick, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, good luck on the bets. I mean, you got a big hype. You got a big swing potential here. This might even be able to get you in first place if these both hit. Honestly, especially because the Chiefs. We didn't get to the Chiefs. Stupid shit has a multiplier of how many points they win by. So if they stupid shit their way into a 5-point win, that's a huge, huge win.
Who is the judge, jury, and executioner over the stupid shit?
It is me.
It's the Chiefs fan.
It was like last week. Once the kick happened, I was like, well, I don't know. And then I just looked at the internet. I'm like, okay, it's stupid. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, if we're all doing, it's like the Will Levis meme situation from earlier. It's a real know it when you see it, and you just keep eating it.
We had a Will Levis meme bet going for a long time. weekly bet going on this podcast. And then, but yeah, you know what's funny, Kyle, is because I thought you were going to skate us on that because I think most of us bet against it, on either the Chiefs losing or just them not winning in a ridiculous way.
Yeah, a third string kicker doinking a extra point from the 90s is stupid.
I outsourced it because I was a little biased with my opinion. I outsourced it, and they said, yeah, that was a dumb way.
If everyone's having fun with it, that's going to be stupid shit.
That's fair.
I think. I mean, if I could honestly see a pick six from Jameis winning the Chiefs the game, in that would just be a very Chiefs. I don't know. This is This is like the opposite of when the Chiefs play the Steelers, where you're like Chiefs Browns. What will happen at the end? And Chiefs Steelers, everyone's like, this is like an immovable luck versus a hard. Like Tomlin also just wins every game by 2.
Yeah.
What will happen?
And I don't think people. It's going to be a crazy way, but I don't think people are going to be like, oh, these fucking Chiefs, they did it again. It's going to be like, oh, Jameis did it again. That's what happens.
Right.
Yeah. So
the tide is turning on whose ridiculousness led to the points.
Right. It's what happens when an unstoppable force meets a very movable object.
In fact, an object that throws itself to other guys a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I do also love Jameis. That's the thing. I saw this. It was like a thing where someone's like, who wants Jameis to be a starting quarterback in the NFL? And everyone raised their hand and they were like, for your team. And everyone put their hand down.
Everyone's hands down. Yeah. Right. Well, Eddie, before we let you go, we do have to ask, is there anyone that you would like to challenge that you think you would be able to beat on this podcast?
Who are you better at fake betting than?
Out of you two, huh?
No, just anyone
in the world.
Anyone you know.
We had,
Give me an example.
Like anyone you think, we've had
co-hosts of radio shows.
Just last week, we had Julie Stewart-Binks on. She challenged Rachel Bonetta. We had Andrew Perloff on. He challenged Maggie Gray, who then in turn challenged Julie Stewart-Binks.
I'd stuff
Paul
Tomasulo in a locker. That's for sure.
Say that again?
I'd stuff Tomasulo in a locker. I could guarantee that.
You might have already. There's his total for
we had Tomasulo. We had Tomasulo on earlier this season. Is there anyone else you want to throw it out there? Because
Paulie's Chicago at the top of that list right there.
He's at the bottom of the list. He's in last place right now.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be someone who's done the show already.
No, anyone ever.
No, anyone. Yeah.
That I would do better in is what you're saying. Sorry to ask. I'll clarify. I like to,
No, all good. All this fake sports betting.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'd smoke. I think I'd smoke Big Cat. No doubt about it.
Okay.
He's the worst gambler in the world. So I think if he's anything like how he is in real sports betting, I think I got him in fake sports betting.
Okay. Even a thing that happens with this where everyone's more confident. And then we get a lot of heavy negatives in here.
I know. Yeah. I like to imagine that like fake sports betting, it's like the upside down. When a Chiefs fan meets a Bears fan, it is the opposite of like you win in dumb ways in actual betting, but you lose in dumb ways in fake sports betting. So we'll see how it all kind of plays out. But okay, so Big Cat, the challenge is set for him. Eddie, thank you so much for joining us, man. We wish you the best of luck on your bets, and hopefully we can raise some money for the jockstrap, getting jock straps to the kids of the Beef Cup Foundation. Not the kids, the men, the grown men.
The men's kids, if you will.
Cup Foundation.
There's a potential for there to be like 8 million kids saved with each one of these.
True. Yeah. But you got to be careful when he's talking about kids and jock straps.
Right. Allegedly. I just want to restate that again. Allegedly with Jay-Z. Eddie, thanks so much, man.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you, and I feel great about my bets.
Massive shout out to Eddie. Thank you again for being here. And I'm going to have to look up where in Turkey he went and how much that cost. And if they take really bad insurance I don't have anymore. I'm going to drop my bet money real quick. I'm feeling good about these bets this week. I'm going to put $200 on over 1.5 touchdowns that guys jump into the end zone. I got to bet on this one. I'm putting $200 on good vibes having a bigger margin of victory than bad vibes margin of loss. I'm putting $150 on no Chief stupid shit. I'm putting $100 on bad teams not surpassing 33 wins. I feel like more teams are going to be in the hunt than we think, even after this week. $250 on the under for a Vikings 14.99 play drive, and I'm locking that in. I got talked into it with how Eddie was like, the Bears won't put enough resistance.
Yeah.
And the Vikings are a big play team. The Vikings are a big play team. They get a lot of downfield passing.
And I don't know if they would even be able to sustain a long drive. I feel like they're just,
they're all sleepy.
Dip and dunk, almost like a 49ers type offense where it's like they just big chunks at a time.
Right. And they get a lot of third and longs, and it's whether they get to. And then the last one, I'm saying no on a Jets-Jags running an offensive player. Is it running back or wide receiver getting over 100 yards?
Running back, wide receiver, or tight end.
Getting over 100.
The tight end was not a euphemism, just for anyone.
Getting over 100 yards in the game. I'm going to switch it to yes. I forgot about wide receiver. I just need. Well, I got a buy in fantasy this week, humble brag. So I don't really care what Brees Hall does. I hope he rests.
So it's basically, it's yes or no. Well, over under if any. It's
so I'll take that. I'll take a trip dig, which is 2 more digits than the age Drake wants in people he's dating. And
folks,
all right, where's your money?
What is it with hip hop?
What is it with rich people and no repercussions?
Yeah, what is?
Y'all hear about this?
What is it with rich people just doing bad stuff?
I know. I feel like someone just needs to start describing them as the CEOs of music, and maybe this thing will work itself out.
All right. The Chiefs stupid shit bet. I'm gonna say $100 on no. I'm gonna keep writing no until they just stop winning this way.
It's not even their fault most of the time. The Raiders one was a team imploding.
Yeah.
The rest of them I don't really think was that stupid shit. But I'm still giving it to everyone because we're riding the
Broncos.
train.
The Broncos field goal. Broncos can't complete.
Yeah, the Chiefs made a good play. Did you know 15 teams have blocked field goals this year?
And 14 of them are the Chiefs?
15 different teams have blocked a field goal or punt. Doesn't that feel like a lot? Could you imagine if the Chiefs won the game last night like the Bengals did?
Another stat that the Titans are in the bottom half of the NFL for.
The bottom 53%.
That's true. Thank you. All right. Does a player score by jumping? I'm going to go $100 on the over for 1.5. So that's $100 on no for Chiefs, $100 on the over for jumping. I'm going $200 on the under, or I guess the no running back or receiver. No on the Jay-Z. The bad vibes scares me too much. I'm staying away from bad vibes. I
understand.
Good vibes versus bad vibes, because whenever I try to set the vibe on a Sunday, it always goes wrong.
Here's how I think that bet is going to play out. I think the Lions are going to win. I think the Rams are going to win, and I think the Panthers were going to win or barely lose.
Yeah,
and then I think the Jets are going to lose.
I think the Eagles
and the Browns
Jets
are
going to win. Yeah, I think the Eagles and Jets are going to win.
Barely.
So that's going to be negative.
And I think the Browns are going to lose by 12, and and that's going to be the difference maker.
Yeah. So I'm skipping that. I'm leaving that.
I understand.
Bet I can't. I'm scared of vibes on Sundays because they've been so horrendous for me lately. So I'm going no, a player does not go over 100 yards in the Jets Jags game. Jay-Z. Bad teams. I am going under for that one.
Okay.
$300. I'm saying they do not surpass 33 bads like Michael Jackson did in his
How
song.
much on this one?
$300.
Okay.
That one's really going to bite me in the ass if both the Bears and the Bengals get eliminated, and the Titans beat the Bengals to eliminate the Bengals.
Right.
That would just be bad.
You're really setting yourself up for these all or nothing emotional feels.
Yeah, that's just me. Welcome to my life in the fall. The Skull Vikings. Eddie talked me into it as well. Kyle, I'm taking the under with $300 on the lock. That's my lock of the week. Under $300. I don't think they have an over 15 play scoring drive.
So you got again, 3, 6, 8.
This is the week where they go 18 plays, 97 yards,
right,
for a touchdown.
Right. Aaron Jones has 14 carries on a drive.
Yeah. There's like 3 Bears penalties on 3rd and longs to keep the drive alive.
Well, I feel good about it. I mean, it was a good best. A good solid week. It's this interesting time in
Yeah.
football because teams' motivation is different.
Hmm.
But you feel like everyone cares, but then you sort of are like,
Yeah.
some guys want
Yeah.
to win, some guys want to lose, some coaches want to win their job. Yeah, we're living.
You're either living or you're dying, and we're doing
Get
the
biz
former,
living, live busy
the latter.
desin. You know what I
Wait, the
mean?
former? No, we're doing the former.
Or
Yeah,
the five
we're doing
even.
the living. The living part is what we're doing.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
listen, if this is your first time here, if I know Eddie has got some pull and got some draw, so if this is your first time checking out this podcast, first of all, welcome and thank you for checking it out. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
If you care to do so, subscribe and do all of the things, the rate, review, all of that really helps us out. We appreciate it. Even if you never listen to this podcast again, just subscribe, and just
Yeah.
let it sit in your feed forever. You can also follow Korked Bats at Korked spelled with a K. KORKEDBATS. That's where you can find the standings for this podcast. You can see the many guests that we've gotten on this podcast so far: Andrew Perloff, Paul Pabst, Julie Stewart Banks, Maggie Gray. Excuse me. Who else am I forgetting? Joey Molinaro. We've had a lot of fun guests this season alone. And that includes Roy Wood Jr., Kyle Brandt, Benedict Polizzi, so many guys from previous seasons as well.
Yeah.
So
Check it
it's a
out.
lot of fun we
Find
have
us
on
on
this
the stuff and the
podcast.
places and the things.
Yeah, do the things and the stuff, and maybe in the places if you want. It's up to you. It's a free country. At Corked Bats on Twitter, Instagram, all the socials. Kind of keep tabs with us there. And then at Kyle Ayers, at Austin Huff. Kyle, you got anything for the road?
No, we'll see you guys at school on Monday and have a good weekend.
See you guys at school on Monday. That was wow, that took me back, man. That's yeah. Hey, you guys going out tonight? Are you going to the movie theater tonight?
Yeah, I'm gonna call my mom and say movie over, pick me up as my name, so she can come get me after The Matrix Reloaded is done.
Wait a minute, where's my ticket stub? All I've got is these Pokemon cards in my pocket.
Pokemon cards behind me on my shelf.
All right, we're getting out of here. Good luck on your bets. Love you.